45th birthday. The NBA is back. We're going to be giving you the results of the matches that were played. But Joel Embiid was injured in his comeback game, and he will have to have an MRI scan on his knee to determine the extent of the damage. Good evening. Welcome to Saturday Sports Fiesta. It is live on 90.7 KUFM, Benin City. My name is Salih Ibrahim, but they call me the Sports Ibracadabra because I bring magic to sports presentation and analysis. Egosa Agbekan, the sports maestro, is also here. Egosa, still talking about the CAF election. New president of CAF, Patrice Motsepe, has promised that he is going to visit every African country in the next 1 year after his election. The 59-year-old, his path to victory was cleared after all his rivals. They withdrew from the race. That left him being the only one standing. And we know that Ahmed, the Madagascan, who was the Malagasy, who was the president of CAF, was barred from contesting election, was banned by FIFA from having anything to do with football for the next 5 years. But that case was looked at by the Court of Arbitration for Sport, and they reduced it to 2 years. But even then, he cannot contest the election. So Patrice Motsepe was elected unopposed. So he addressed a gathering of member associations, and then he stressed his belief that unity can herald a new era of African football, which he said has been mired in controversy in recent years. Quoting him, "It's a huge honor and privilege for me to be CAF president. Let me thank my brother, FIFA President Gianni Infantino, for the vision and encouragement of unity. We can only deal with the challenges of Africa, and we will succeed. But we will only do so when we are united." So these are some of the things that he said. And on the part where he promised to visit every country, he said, "I'll be visiting every single country in Africa in the next 9 to 12 months because it is important to engage with you in your country, meet the private sector and political leadership, and talk about implementation."
Well, that's good. Outlining that his vision after emerging CAF president unopposed yesterday, I think that was good for him because it seems they all agreed with his vision and all his ideas. That's the reason why they had to withdraw before the election. Proper talking about those that withdrew before the election. So having a unified government leadership, so to speak, right now, where the rest are going to work with him in unity to ensure that African football is rebranded, is put in the global map, and I think over the years we have corruption as one of the problems that we have faced over here in African football and all that. Sometimes you find it difficult to develop African football based on the kind of people, in leadership and the kind of corrupt practices that they have been into. But I hope that Patrice Motsepe coming on board. Well, he is a billionaire and he has been able to finance the club, to do exploits, and he still has the required experience to lead CAF to greater heights. But I just hope that those working with him at some point will not start having issues that will bring some cracks into the leadership, because that was how gradually Ahmad started having issues. We thought by now Ahmad would have the free rights to get a second tenure, but following the kind of things that have happened, and also the issue that he had with FIFA Ethics Committee and all that led to his 5-year ban and later reduced to 2. I hope that will not come into play once Motsepe starts his work as the president of CAF. Yes, I think it's good for you to go around every member nation to talk with the stakeholders, to discuss and see how far they can, really lift up African football. Yes, when it comes to sponsorship, when it comes to dealing with the players and so many things on board. So he has all these things spread out before coming out with that ambition of, okay, I want to become CAF president. So I hope everyone that's supported him right now to become the CAF president will also be there for him whenever it comes out with something really positive that will really help out, because sometimes the issue of money, causes one or two issues. But I hope that this leadership will be very, very careful, and they will do the needful, so that in the next 4 years we'll start seeing the light as far as African football is concerned, and every member association will also feel it in their own country. I'm happy that Amaju Pinnick, who is the NFF president, is right now in FIFA Council, and I hope that will also help, improve Nigerian football when it comes to NFF leadership in Africa, in Nigeria. I just hope that will also lift it, because sometimes you wonder why we are having so many issues in Nigerian football, as for welfare, so many other issues. So I hope this Amaju Pinnick is not new to the system, is not new to the game. He knows how to play his cards and all that. That's what led to him becoming the 10th Nigerian to be elected into the FIFA Council. I hope he does that on his own part, but with them and their plans. But I hope they are able to execute it. Not after 1 year or 2 years or 3 years we start having cracks, having issues, between himself and those that also stepped up for him to have a free will and all that. But all the same, I think congrats to him once again. And I hope that is one way to go. Visit the member countries, speak with the stakeholders, and see how far we can bring things together, because it's in unity that African football will progress.
Talking about Amaju Pinnick, the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, they've come out to explain that, look, Amaju Pinnick was not elected as the 5th vice president of CAF. He is to be a member of the CAF executive committee, because he did not contest for that particular position. So he left where he was before and went higher, which is the FIFA Council. But he remains a member of the CAF Congress by virtue of he is being the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, but he is not in the CAF executive committee. So the NFF, they've explained that he's not even one of the vice presidents of CAF. He's a member of the FIFA Council. So apart from Patrice Motsepe being elected CAF president, and we also had Amaju Pinnick being elected a member of the FIFA Council, the following people are also members of the FIFA Council. Maturin de Chakus from Benin Republic, Aisha Johansson from Sierra Leone, Fauzi Lekja Morocco, and Mamatu Toure of Mali. They will join Hani Aburida of Egypt on the FIFA Council, while Kanizat Ibrahim from Comoros and Umbombo Unjoya from Cameroon, they were elected to join others in the FIFA in the CAF Executive Committee. The other regional appointments that were also made, we had Wadi Jari of Tunisia elected to the Northern Zone, and Elvis Raja Chetty of the Seychelles and McLean Letswiti from Botswana, both elected to represent the Southern Zone. So this is some of the results of the election that we had over the weekend in Rabat, Morocco. And of course, as you would expect, we've been having so many individuals and organizations congratulating the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick, on his election as a member of the FIFA Council. The biggest came, of course, from the president of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, in a release by his media aide, Femi Adesina. It reads, President Muhammadu Buhari applauds Mr. Amaju Pinnick, the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, on his election into the FIFA Executive Council, the highest decision-making organ in world football. The president believes that by dint of hard work, dedication, and consistency, Pinnick has proven to be an efficient football administrator, and the world has taken notice of his competency skills by electing him into the FIFA Council and one of the vice president of the okay, this is where they got it wrong. Yeah. Even the release from the president,
yeah, I thought
from the media aid, he's not one of the vice presidents of CAF. The president knows that this feat of enhanced visibility and prestige of Nigeria in the international community is coming on the heels of recent elections of other well-qualified and endowed Nigerians into strategic leadership positions in international organizations. The president urges Pinnick to see his new assignment as an opportunity to enhance Nigeria's reputation and identity as a football-loving country and optimally utilize the role of sports through football as a driving force to engender development, peace, and stability at the regional and international levels. As an active supporter of the round ladder game, the president joins other enthusiastic fans in Nigeria and across the continent in wishing the NFF president the best in his new position. This is signed by Femi Adesina, special advisor to the president, media and publicity. Yesterday, that was the 12th of March 2021, and the Nigerian Olympic Committee, so many different
that's what you get
have
when
been congratulating Pinnick.
Yeah, when you contest for an election and you win, you have so many people congratulating you, and so even when it comes to appointments, you know, people, because it's not really easy for one to get into that position. It's the highest football making body as far as football is concerned. So for him to be among them, come on, I think it's really huge. For him to be the third person since late Orok Oyo and also Dr. Amos Adamu, it's been a long time. Yes, though Megari contested for the position, but he couldn't get it. So many people have aspired to become, you know, to be elected into that position, but they couldn't. But here you have Amaju Pinnick. Yes, he's a fast thinker, and like I said, he knows how to play the politics and all that. Honestly, even when he led the campaign, you know, to move Issa Hayatou out of office, people thought, oh, could this lead to something positive? At the end of the day, Amaju was installed as the CAF president, and when they had issues, he also threw his weight behind Patrice Motsepe, and now Motsepe is the president of CAF. He is also a member of the FIFA. So for me, all we need right now is to ensure that all these things will really affect Nigerian football in no distant time, so that we know, yes, Amaju Pinnick is there to really help, you know, rebrand the Nigerian football. Yes, we are seeing their handwork. LMC, as at 4, 5, 6 years ago, Nigerian Football League wasn't the way it was right now. It was win at home at all cost syndrome. But today we have different teams going away from home and also getting results without having, you know, crisis and all that. You know, taking it with that sportsmanship stuff. So a whole lot is changing, but we want more, honestly, especially when it comes to welfare players, welfare, how transfers are done, how things are done. I know it's a gradual process, but with Amaju Pinnick's presence in that FIFA Council, I hope that will bring so much. So the more people will still continue to congratulate him, institutions, individuals and all that, because it wasn't a means feat. It wasn't really easy, but he found himself there. He believed in himself. He got the backing from the federal government, and here the job is done, and he's there to represent Nigeria. So for me, I think that's really great. So I won't be surprised if more, you know, outpour of congratulations, you know, still pouring on Amaju Pinnick. Congrats to him. We wish him all the best.
That's what is going on. Amaju Pinnick getting all the congratulations for getting elected into the FIFA Council. And FIFA, they have also said that they've been very impressed with the way Africa is united, the way we did not really have an election for the CAF presidency. Instead, you had several members stepping aside. And then even in the FIFA Council, for some elections, especially that of the NFF president, we had some members stepping aside for Pinnick, and then he had to contest his election, which he won handsomely. I think 43 votes to 8. So yeah, so that's very good for Amaju Pinnick. So congratulations. We hope that this will mean more for Nigerian football on the football now. Earlier in the English Premier League, we saw a game, Leeds United taking on Chelsea. It promised to be really explosive and exciting, but eventually it was an uneventful goalless draw. So Thomas Tuchel, 12 games in the Premier League, unbeaten. Yeah, but he's drawn quite a few games, and so he got 1 point from this. Means they remain fourth on the table, and you feel no matter what happens tomorrow, they will still. When is West Ham United playing against Manchester United?
Wow.
That's tomorrow. Yeah. So Chelsea will still be will still be fourth on the table, no matter what happens in that encounter. But they've played 2 games now more than West Ham United. So if West Ham win the outstanding games, then they will go ahead of Chelsea. But with this draw, if West Ham fail to win against Manchester United, then you feel, especially if they are beaten by Manchester United, you feel even the outstanding game, even if they win it, they are going to be on the same number of points with Chelsea. But Chelsea, you look at their goal difference, it is much better than that of West Ham United. Chelsea are on 19, West Ham United are on 11. So West Ham will have to win by almost double figures to go ahead of Chelsea. Otherwise, they'll be on the same number of points. That's assuming that they lose to Manchester United. But in the English Premier League, we all know that anything can happen. There was a game yesterday in the Premier League 2. Newcastle United and Aston Villa. Yeah. They played out in 1-1 draw. Aston Villa conceding late in that game.
Yeah, it was a really tough one, though the goals came within the space of 4 to 6 minutes, and they ended in a 1-1 draw.
In the 94th minutes.
94th, yeah, was when Jamal Lascelles got the equalizer for the Steve Bruce side. Well, I think they are both still struggling, honestly. And Newcastle they are struggling right now, 16 points. But Aston Villa, well, they are pretty okay, 9 spots. They could still fight for European tickets if other results go their way. So they've got about 11 matches to play, and if they can get decent results in some of them, they could get Europa tickets. So it was Newcastle who needed the maximum points, most from that game. But sharing these points, I don't think that's really a bad one. But for Steve Bruce, for him to retain his job, I think he just have to do the needful, get out of this position that he is right now, and finish maybe in mid-table. Then that could also secure his job, because right now, if he loses 2 or 3 matches, he could find himself in the red zone, which is not really, really nice at the moment. So the Magpies are a big side, so they know they just have to get some results in order for them to stay to survive the drop at the end of the season.
Right now, Crystal Palace nil, West Bromwich Albion nil. Later, Everton versus Burnley. That's going to be at 6:30. Then at 9 p.m, Fulham taking on the champions. Champions in waiting, Manchester City. We'll wait to see what will happen in that encounter. Ordinarily, you give it to Manchester City, but we gave it to Liverpool when Fulham came visiting, and we know what happened. They beat Liverpool at Anfield. So, top of the pile, Manchester City, 78 points from their 29 matches. Manchester United, second, 54 from their 28 matches. Leicester City, third, 53 from 28. Chelsea, fourth, 51 from 29. Sixth position is West Ham United, 48 from their 27 games. Then Everton are sixth. They've got 46 points from their 27 matches. Tottenham Hotspur are seventh. They've got 45 from 27. Then Liverpool 8th, 43 from 28. Aston Villa 9th, 41 from 27 matches. Then Arsenal 10th, 38 points from their 27 matches. So Arsenal need 2 more points to be absolutely safe. I'm just joking. We know that Arsenal, because they say once you get to 40 points, you are safe. But we know Arsenal were safe from
they could even get that. They're the one hosting tomorrow, so it's possible they
yeah. Then bottom side, Fulham, 26 points from 28. But interestingly, West Bromwich Albion, they've got to now. Not West Bromwich Albion. Brighton and Hove Albion, they've got to be looking at, watching over their shoulders, because they are just
on goals difference.
Yeah, ahead of. Although Fulham have played a game more than them, but if they lose their next game, then they'll be on the same points as Fulham, and they could be caught. When you look at West Bromwich Albion, you feel these ones are doomed. They've got 19 points from 29, same as Sheffield Wednesday, who are bottom 14 points from their 28 matches. Okay, that is the situation. We told you yesterday that their manager Chris Wilder was going to leave yesterday.
Talking about Sheffield United, that's Sheffield.
Sorry, I'm talking about Sheffield United, who's bottom.
Bottom, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So for tomorrow, we've got the massive game. Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur, the North London derby. That's going to be at 5 p.m. Manchester United versus West Ham United at 8:15. Leicester City taking on Sheffield United at 3 p.m. Southampton versus Brighton and Hove Albion. That's going to start things up at 1 p.m. Okay, so that is the situation in the English Premier League. Then Monday Night Football, Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Liverpool. Liverpool absolutely have to win this. You just they must win this one. Otherwise, look, whatever chances they had about making it top four, just forget it if they fail to win this one. Okay, so that is the situation in the English Premier League. But tomorrow, the big one, Arsenal taking on Tottenham Hotspur. And of course, we know this is the North London derby, and it's really huge. One of the biggest fixtures in football. One of the most acrimonious, if you like, because these two sides, they don't like themselves, and the rivalry runs really deep. When they played earlier this season, Tottenham Hotspur won that encounter 2-0 at the new White Hart Lane, and there is a particular celebration they have at Arsenal. It's called St. Tottenham's Day. That is a day when it becomes mathematically impossible for Tottenham Hotspur to overtake them on the league, to catch them, so they know that, okay, we are going to finish ahead of Spurs. But they've not been able to celebrate that last couple of seasons. Now, with what is happening right now, they may not even celebrate that again, especially if they lose to Tottenham tomorrow. That will mean that they are 10 points behind Spurs. So let's hear Jose Mourinho, the manager of the side. He was asked about Arsenal. He answered in a very respectful manner the first time. But with journalists now, you really want to get that punchline. And nobody is talking about how he respected Arsenal the first time. Everybody is now talking about, I look up, I don't look down. Let's hear Jose Mourinho react to questions about Spurs taking on Arsenal.
Jose, I just wanted to ask you about the balance of power in North London. Obviously, when Arsenal were winning titles, they were arguably the bigger side in North London. Do you think, considering the players you have now, the stadium, the facilities, and also the recent record in the Champions League, that the balance of power has shifted a little bit in North London?
I want to be respectful. I don't want to go in that direction. I'm very proud to be at Tottenham. I have the feeling every day that I work in a big club, but in spite of the rivalry between us and Arsenal, I want to be respectful. Arsenal is a big club with a big history, a little bit like us. They are trying to build a better future. I have total respect for them.
Evening, Jose. There are 7 points between you and Arsenal, with both teams winning again tonight. How are you approaching this North London derby, and what have you made of Arsenal so far this season?
I look up, I don't look down. If Arsenal was 7 points ahead of us, I would look to them. But because we have 7 points more than them, I don't look down, I look up. But at the same time, we look always to the next match, and if instead of Arsenal it was Villa or Newcastle, because the next matches that we are going to play would be exactly the same feeling. We feel that we are better than the position that we have on the table, and we want to improve that position, so we need points for that. So it doesn't matter the opponent, doesn't matter if it is a London derby. In fact, it's the fourth that we have in a row in the Premier League. It's a Premier League match. 3 points are there to fight for, and that's what we are going to try to do.
Jose Mourinho speaking there, and as I told you, he was really respectful the first time and said, look, absolutely, Arsenal are a big side. I want to respect them as much as I can, so I don't want to talk much about them. But they kept asking him, you and Arsenal, the rivalry, you are 7 points ahead of them. I said, look, okay, if that's the case, I like looking up. I don't look down. If Arsenal were above me, then I'll be looking up and I'm trying to claw back those points. But right now, we are 7 points ahead of Arsenal. But look, I mean, it is very clear. If Tottenham wins this, it will not sit down well with Arsenal. Arsenal could win this and still not make Europe. Not forget about top four. Making Europe. It will be a miracle if Arsenal makes the top four. So let us even talk about qualifying for Europe. Well, they are in the Europa League. They got a very good result in the first leg against Olympiacos, 3-1. They won away from home. So you feel they've got to go on to win the Europa League to stand a realistic chance of qualifying for the Champions League. But qualifying for Europe, okay, maybe still, look at the teams that are above them. They are 10th on the table. They are 10th. And even the top four is crowded with about 7 clubs really
battling for.
Yes, and we are not sure which one is going to make it, apart from basically Manchester City. The rest have got to struggle. Manchester United, Leicester City, Chelsea, Everton, Liverpool. There's so many clubs that are there hustling for the remaining 3 slots. So Arsenal, I don't think they will make the top 4. But then qualifying for Europe too, they've got to really battle hard, and it has to start from tomorrow. They must win those 3 points. Otherwise,
even if they win tomorrow to get the maximum points, they'll still make 10, because
that's what I understand. But I'm saying, they will now. The points difference between them and Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur will be 4. But if they lose, it goes to 10. So losing is not an option.
It's not even a draw. It's not even nice for the Gunners. I understand they'll be able to beat the Olympiacos away from home. They've seen that they've already put one.
This is in the English Premier League. We've seen Liverpool go away, win in the Champions League, then come home and they are shocked by one small club.
We hope that that's same momentum. They take it to Tottenham Hotspur tomorrow. It's not going to be easy. It's a derby, and know that the rivalry between Jose and the Gunners side, apart from having that rivalry with Mikel Arteta, he has had rivalry even with Alex Wenger way back. So he wouldn't want to lose to Arsenal. Yes, so that they'll have that upper hand. And Harry Kane at the moment is flying high. He got their brace. There are 2 goals in the Europa League, and he is also in contention to play tomorrow. I don't know if
Jose Mourinho also addressed that. There were talks about him being injured because he limped off, but Mourinho basically said no, it's not too much, he will play. And he was also asked about Harry Kane, being 28, is he fulfilled? Does he see him playing till he's 39 like Zlatan Ibrahimovic and everything? I said maybe you should have to ask Harry Kane himself. He should be in a better position to tell you. But he went on to say, when there are certain players who just play a particular position, like Harry Kane, he's an out and out striker. That's when you are like that, then you tend to stay longer in football, So let's see what will happen with them. Okay, let's just quickly run down, go to live score and see the result of matches being played at the moment.
All right, earlier today in the Spanish La Liga Santander, Deportivo Alaves played out a 1-0 draw with Cadiz. It's 9 minutes of play right now. Real Madrid 0, Elche 0. Then at 6:30, Osasuna will entertain Real Valladolid. Then while at 9 p.m. to be Getafe versus league leaders Atletico Madrid. Okay, that takes us to the German Bundesliga. Matches are ongoing at the moment, and we've got Mainz 05. They are playing a goalless draw with Freiburg. It's halftime at the moment. Union Berlin 0, SC Cologne 1, Werder Bremen 0, Bayern Munich 2. Wolfsburg leading Schalke 4-1-0. Then at 6:30, it will be Borussia Dortmund versus Hertha Berlin. Then this Italian Serie A, earlier a game is going on at the moment. 67 minutes of play right now. Sassuolo beating Hellas Verona. That game is 2-1 at the moment in favor of Sassuolo. 16 minutes of play right now, and the 6 o'clock Benevento will entertain Fiorentina, while at 8:45 to meet Genoa versus Udinese. Then the French Ligue 1.
Then the match that was it yesterday.
2 matches yesterday, Lazio won 3-2
against Crotone. The 2 goals from Crotone was scored by Simi Nwankwo, and he becomes the Nigerian with the most goals. Please, guys, listen to this. We could ask us at a question one day. He became the Nigerian with the most goals in a single season in the Italian Serie A. Well, not that many Nigerians have played in the Italian Serie A, but remember that our weapon of mass destruction, Obafemi Martins, once played there for Inter Milan. Played, I think that was in the 2004, is it the 2003-2004 season? Obafemi Martins scored 11 goals the whole of that season. Simi Nwankwo has now scored 12 goals, and the season has not ended. Obafemi Martins was playing for Inter Milan. Yeah, Inter Milan isn't the force that they are today. Way back in 2004, they are not. Maybe most they could get to was and finish third. Basically qualify for Europe. That's what you didn't see them as those.